Hey everybody, Jay Barino here. Welcome back. I'm going to be starting a new real-time strategy showcase. This is Armies of Exigo. We'll be returning back to Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition after we finish Armies of Exigo, but I wanted to diversify my real-time strategy dabbling, as it were. Armies of Exigo, I think when it was released, was a bit of a sleeper hit, but a lot of people look back on it retrospectively, and I think a lot of people say it was pretty good, especially as an early entry into the 3D real-time strategy space. So I'm excited to get into it. There is an intro cinematic, so I'll go ahead and make a cut and play that for you now.
It was 70 years ago that our centuries-old peace was broken, shattered by the rage of the Orc invaders. Our only choice was to turn them back or be utterly destroyed. Time fades scarred memories. A new evil will awaken, and old enemies must reconcile and draw blades together. But that time is yet to come. It is for a future generation to decide.
That was a pretty cool intro cinematic, if you ask me. I quite liked how that was done. Good use of music, tells a little story there. Not entirely clear where we're at in terms of like a universe timeline. Are we, I guess, fighting the orcs? I don't know how many campaigns there are. I think there are 3 campaigns. I'm going to start with the tutorial and then maybe cram in the first mission of the Empire campaign in this video today. So let's get started. I will play the tutorial even though it's going to introduce a lot of stuff that I'm already familiar with, but who knows what new stuff Armies of Exigo might have. So let's, well, I know a lot of you might. I don't, so that's why I'm going to play the tutorial. I will be playing on normal as I play all these new games. Well, they're new for me, all of these games blind. I just like to default to the normal difficulty at first. And I am playing with a widescreen patch, so the loading screens are going to be wonky like this.
Good day. I have a lot to show you, and we don't have much daylight left, so let's get started. The command panel at the bottom of the screen contains the control options. Moving left to right, you'll see the unit portrait, information pane, unit commands, abilities pane, and the minimap. You can move your camera in different ways. Move the mouse cursor to any edge of the screen to pan. Press and hold the middle mouse button to drag the camera around the world view. Finally, click anywhere on the minimap and the camera will immediately jump to that location. Let's move on to the basic unit controls. You'll need to know how to manage your base and command your units. Left-click on the peasant to select him.
Pretty common stuff here.
What needs to be done?
You can also select multiple units or buildings by clicking and holding the left mouse button and dragging a box around them. Try that on your buildings. Now back to your peasant. Select your peasant and move him over near the gold fields by right-clicking on the ground near them. Good. We'll need more gold so we can train more peasants. Select your peasant again and right-click on the gold field, and he will begin to mine.
Excellent idea.
There's no music and there's no sound effects of him mining, I guess?
Your current resource amount is shown on the toolbar. There are 3 resources to collect: gold, wood, and gems. Supply determines the maximum number of units you can support. If you run low on supply, you cannot train more units. Now you have collected 50 gold, so let's build a peasant. Select your castle and left-click on the peasant icon in the abilities pane. Good. Soon we'll have another peasant to order about. When he's ready, he will stand next to your castle. If you want him to go to a specific location, you can set a rally point. To set a rally point, select your castle and right-click on the ground. Any units exiting the building will go to that point. If you set a rally point on a resource, the peasant will automatically go there and begin mining. All buildings work this way. Let's expand our base. Since you'll also need plenty of wood for constructing buildings, select your second peasant and right-click on a tree to harvest wood. When you've collected enough gold and wood, we will build a farmhouse.
Okay. So I assume we can have multiple peasants on the gold fields. I wonder if these kind of function almost like mineral fields in StarCraft in the sense that we'll be able to have multiples, or if it's more of like a gold mine in Warcraft 3. So I guess let's wait for one more return of lumber. Actually, I don't think we need more. So can both of you harvest from this at the same time? Yes, you can. Okay. So in that case, I don't know if there's like an optimal number of workers. By the way, I assume there will be music later on in the game, but for right now, no dice.
Good idea.
We need 100 for the farm. Hotkey is BR?
We have the resources we need. Select one of your peasants and click on the farmhouse icon in the abilities pane. The building's foundation will appear under your mouse cursor. Move it to a good location and left-click again to start construction. A red foundation indicates that you cannot build in that location. Let's keep our peasant busy. You can give them multiple commands by holding down the Shift key. Select the farmhouse that is being built, and while holding down the Shift key, right-click on a gold field. When he finishes construction, he'll start to collect gold.
Okay,
now that
shift
your
queuing.
peasants are busy, let's move on to some combat controls. Here we have some armed peasants. Select both the peasants holding scythes.
I live to serve.
There you go. Now press the attack button on the Actions command pane or the hotkey A. Your mouse cursor is changed to a targeting icon. Left-click on a target dummy and your peasants will attack.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Sure. Hey, we got some sound effects.
Notice the selection circles at the feet of your peasants. Your units will be green. A blue selection circle indicates an ally unit. Yellow means neutral, and red is an enemy. Now let's select the 2 peasants with slings. They can attack from a distance. Because the target dummies are neutral, you have to attack them manually. When an enemy unit is close enough, your units will automatically attack them.
I'm doing it.
Use all 4 of your peasants to destroy the remaining target dummies.
We got it under control,
Well done.
Noran.
Let's go to the training grounds.
All right, this is all very similar controls
When
to
you
everything
have
I've played.
a group of units of the same type, you can select them all by double-clicking any one or by holding the control key during selection. This is handy in a large-scale battle. You can group your soldiers and bind them to a numbered hotkey. Select your 8 scythe-wielding peasants, hold the control key, and press 1.
I am here, my lord.
Now, all of your scythe-wielding peasants are grouped together. Press the 1 key at any time to select that group. Well done. Now move them over to the beacon.
Let's do it. Huh?
You can add or subtract units from your selection group by holding the Shift key and clicking on a unit or its icon on the information pane. Let's get your peasant slingers in line. Group them under the 2 key.
I am here, my lord.
Great. Now move them over to the beacon near the others. Well done. Now that you have 2 selection groups, I will show you how to group them together under a supergroup.
Supergroup?
To create a supergroup, press the F1 key. You see 10 slots in the information pane. 2 show your selection groups 1 and 2. Right-click on them, and they will be assigned to the supergroup.
Supergroups?
Units assigned to the supergroup will have a flashing border. Excellent. You can create up to 4 supergroups using the F1 to F4 keys.
Huh.
Now move your supergroup over to the beacon.
So this kind of, I guess, helps you get around selection limits, because
What
it looks
needs to
like
be
we can
done?
only have probably 15 units at a time selected, but if you can have, 2 of the 2 melee groups, you can put them into a super group. You can only have 4 super groups, and it's based on only having 10 hotkeys anyway. I don't know, that's interesting. Where's the beacon? There's the beacon.
You should note that your units arrived in a formation. Melee units in the front and ranged units behind them. Anytime you move grouped units together, they will position themselves into formation. It's time for you to see the underground tunnels.
What? Show me, Noran.
Select your peasant and right-click on the tunnel entrance building.
Will the work...
Your peasant has now gone to the cellar. Toggle between levels using the tab key. You can also switch between levels by clicking on the gem in the unit command area.
What? Multiple
If
levels?
you want a second mini-map, click the right button on the toolbar. Now you have a mini-map for each level. You can move your selected units between levels by simply right-clicking on the other mini-map. They will find their way to the new location. I think that covers all the basics. Thank you for your patience. May you serve Noran well.
So it's like a waygate. That's interesting. You are victorious! Again, there's no music, barely any sound effects. I assume this will be fine when we actually play the real game. We'll see. Okay, so if I hit continue, it just forces us to stay...
I live to serve.
I see. So it's not like continue on to the next mission. I think that's just the tutorial. That's fine with me. Get me out of here. Now we can play the actual game. All right, let's go into the Empire campaign and see what we're dealing with. Mission 1, let's go.
I had no choice but to step forward to...
I did not mean to do that. I was muting myself, as I sometimes do during cinematics, so allow me to go back, and I'll play that for you. All right, let's try it again.
I had no choice but to step forward to assume leadership of the Council. Master, you made me promise before your death. It was as if you knew your time was coming to an end. Even before your passing, you had warned that a great darkness was descending over the land. The rumors of war were sweeping forward on the drumroll of the tribes. The Beastmen are again on the march, Master. But this time, there is a pounding here, within the heart of the void. Its intensity grows.
All right, sure. The Council of Magi debates the threat of the Beast invasion in the Obsidian Tower.
I will not be silenced, Lord Karen. You will hear me. The boy
was duly appointed by the late Lord Tanth. The matter is decided. There can be no...
He would lead us to war, Karen. You yourself have said this.
No, I have said...
War? We have had peace for 70 years. Not since the Rage has Norran had to call its sons and brothers to open conflict.
And we foolishly underestimated them before, and were nearly decimated. Thus my point. We do not need a boy leading us in these dark times.
My lords, I pray you listen. I have been to the marchlands. I have seen what is happening on the borders. The Beast Lords have attacked caravans from the south and west. They have harried my men along the western wall that divides our realms. Such settlements beyond the wall have been destroyed. This is no mindless kobold rabble, Lord Karen.
They are not a threat to Norran. Surely your garrison is more than capable of dealing with a few raiders. That isn't at issue. What is,
Lord Karen, is that I am High Lord of this council. Understand this, my lords. If we do not act now, we will repeat the past. This threat from the Howling Plains must be met and vanquished before it is allowed to spread.
Lord Ulrich.
Yes, I agree, Lord Ulrich. Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps a more firm hand should be taken. Firm, but not overzealous.
Of course, Karen, of course. Temperance in all things. Then we are decided. Castle Margoth is the key, my lords. Margoth defends the western marches. Its border watch and garrison are our first and best line of defense. But with the destruction of caravans and supply routes into the keep and surrounding settlements, they have been made vulnerable to siege. It is for that reason that I have ordered the immediate dispatching of raw goods, wood, gold, foodstuffs, and weapons.
He will lead us to war, Karen. Mark it well.
Perhaps, Lord Val. Perhaps.
The boots of Norran's warriors march towards the western border. The Borderlands, Mission 1. Okay, sure. Also, that guy, the captain's name wasn't Norran. That's the faction that we are, it looks like. They're holding those swords very awkwardly.
It is so. Tell me, what has happened here? What treachery?
They came at night, Captain. They brought fire to the village of Hale. Please, there are still people there. You must get to Hale.
Men, to me! We must reach Hale. There is blood to be spilled this night.
Okay, so what are these auras? Locate the mining
I
camp.
await your command.
Aura of Absorption. What is that?
Ready.
Do they all have that?
Yes, sir.
So so each individual unit has veterancy. Okay, but
Yes,
they
sir.
all have the Aura of Absorption, it looks like.
Sir. Yes, sir. I await your command.
So he's level
Ready.
3, I see. So it's just like different indicators
Sir.
here.
the
Okay,
way.
well, we have to try to get to the mining camp, so let's
Lead
go
the
and
way.
see if we can find it. I don't know also
my
what
way.
kind of things there are to explore on these maps. A lot of people have compared this
the way.
sort of to Warcraft
Lead the way.
3, though obviously veterancy is part of this as
On
well,
my
which
way.
was not part of the tutorial.
Lead the way.
In fact, really no combat was. Oh, hello. Auto attack.
Way. Ready. On my
Make
way.
sure everyone's in there attacking.
I await your command. On my way. Lead the way. On my
Never
way.
mind.
Yes, sir. Sir. I
Okay.
await your command.
Treasure.
Yes, sir.
Gold. What are these? Healing
I
potions.
await your command. Yes, sir.
Oh. So are these
the
like
way.
global? Can I... Oh, so you pick a unit and
I
you just
await
cast
your
it on them directly.
On my way.
That's interesting. So there's
Lead the way.
no hero per se, but like
Yes,
this
sir.
guy might as well be a hero, right? So how much does this heal? 100? So we could pop this on this guy.
I await your command.
All right.
Lead the way. On my way.
That's the edge of the map.
On my
I can
way.
get into it. That's pretty neat.
Lead the way.
Combat's pretty slow. It seems
On my
similar
way.
to Warcraft in that
Take
way.
him.
For NORAD!
So they have beast warriors. So these aren't orcs. Like the cutscene was bringing said
the
there were
way.
orcs. Doesn't seem like orcs
Lead
to
the
me.
way. Yes, sir. Ready.
Okay.
On my
So yeah, we definitely want to be exploring and seeing if there's
on my way.
anything to pick up.
Lead the way. Lead the way.
I guess I should check up there. in a bit. Let's see if we can find this camp. It's a very small map to get started here, which is fine with me.
On my way. On my way. Sir,
Well, they're already dead.
that day is ours. On my way.
And I've got these global powers, which is pretty flippin' cool.
Yes, sir.
That's my guy.
Lead the way.
I'm trying to get him out of there. He was stuck. Okay. Well, we learned a bit about the pathing as we continue. I should have just I have a global
Well
heal.
met, noble warrior. Well met. We
had to cower in the storehouse like sheep awaiting the slaughter. Where was Margoth? They've taken everything.
Peace, Abaris. We are here now, sent from the council. Margoth is itself in grave need. Their supplies are dangerously low. We must gather more gold, or that we can escort thence to Margoth.
Train a pack mule and escort it to the Margoth Road. Carries a large amount of gold. Okay, so we have to build that and then escort it. I see. Well, that's what they were talking about in the cinematic, was like basically getting resources out to the borderlands, right?
On my way. Lead the way. For NORAD!
Okay, so again, so the health bars are on the bottom, so that's something that's I'm gonna have to get used to. I mean, that's not a big deal, but again, just something to sort of think about.
Ready.
I like that.
On my way.
Give me some of that cash.
What needs to be done?
The hotkeys are strange. I mean, not strange, but they're certainly. I'm gonna have to get used to them. So, like, you can see what they can build here, but you have to hit B to unlock their hotkeys to actually make the buildings.
I live to serve.
Which is not a big deal, but
Excellent idea. Let's do
you
it.
finish
I
that.
agree, my lord.
You finish
idea.
that. See, like, how many peasants is enough peasants? I guess I want to see how much our combat units actually cost.
On my way. Lead the way.
I'm going to send one guy up here just to double check if there's anything else up here. Okay, well, we have music now. We have unit reactions. All's well with the world. After I record this video, I'll go and review how the sound is, but I think everything is defaulting right now.
Lead the way.
Complete, my lord.
On my way.
Is there anything behind these walls?
Lead the way.
No, we can't actually get behind them.
Lead the way.
These barracks take a while.
Building complete, my lord.
No mercy!
90.
Lay waste to the humans. Destroy their garrison. Grind their bones to paste and bring to me their supplies. There will be no failure.
On my way.
Kill the Beast Berserker to stop the raiding parties.
Yes, sir. On my way.
We can give this guy a healing pot. I wonder if those...
I live
I
to
assume
serve.
those may not carry over per mission. I
Let's do it.
really don't know. These guys take a while to build. I'm gonna get a second barracks if I can afford it, which I can. It's just weird that there's no economy sound at all. Like, you'd think there'd be some sound of, like, the wood chopping or the gold being harvested in some way.
No mercy!
I assume that means that they're sending units out to kill us, but I can't be sure about that. So I'm gonna hotkey my production. I'm curious, like, if I select all of
Our
these,
forces are under attack.
I can't tab through them. Can't tab through them, so I have to kind of treat them like, the nice thing is I can select multiple buildings, but I can't do multiple types of buildings. So that's unfortunate.
I live to serve.
I also should double check, like, how much food does a farm give us?
Let's
It's
do
kind of
it.
the farms are pretty expensive. These guys are,
You, sir.
well, they're not cheap, but they're
Building
not
complete, my lord.
a big deal. So that guy came from up here. So either they opened up the trees to get to us, or they're just gonna spawn behind us. Okay, yeah. So I can queue up multiple things again, and I'm curious to see. So out of 30.
My sword
Building
serves
complete, my
you.
lord.
Okay, so those give us 10. That's pretty solid, and these guys are each 2 supply. I shouldn't need that
am
much
here, my
more,
lord.
that many more
Good idea.
farms.
Will the work never end? Good idea.
Giving these things a
My
repair.
sword serves
I like how
you,
their
sir.
building animation has them looking at, like... looking at schematics and such. Okay, well,
Yes, sir.
again, I think
Sir.
I've kind of got
Yes,
this
sir.
under
Lead the way.
control.
My
So did my
sword
new
serves
guy...
you.
all my new guys get these auras of absorption as well. Is that the extra... yeah, I see. So the spell armor, they get +2 armor. I don't know who's providing that. All I can imagine is we don't
Yes,
want our
sir.
level 5 guy to die. So he does 12
I
damage.
obey.
They all do 12 damage.
Yes, sir.
I think the difference
My
is his
sword
HP.
serves you. I await your command.
From what I can tell,
Sir,
the main
I await
difference when
your-
they
I
level
await
up
your
is their
command. Yes, sir.
survivability increases noticeably.
On my way.
So let's leave these guys here, because apparently those enemies will spawn from above us.
There is not
My
enough
sword
gold, my lord.
serves you.
Don't speak to me about gold.
I await your command. Lead the way. Lead the way.
And like, I wanted to click that guy. I really wanted to click that guy to give him the pot, but again, I'm going to have to get used to the selection and how this all works.
Our forces are under attack.
Ah, see, okay, so they're showing up
My
behind us
sword
randomly.
serves you. Ready. Sir.
I'm not sure, again, if they've got the little circles, I think that means that they're above
Yes, sir.
2 veterancy, from what I can tell.
Sir. My sword serves you.
Though I'm honestly, I'm
Yes,
not
sir.
100% sure.
Lead the way.
Let's just bring all
I
these
await your
guys.
command.
Let's look around and see if we can find more pots, too.
On my way.
Wildlife.
Ready. On my way.
I don't have any other pots to heal my level 5 guy. I mean, in the grand scheme, if I have no way to heal him, it doesn't really matter, per se, if
my
he
way.
dies, because, again, like, I can't... it's not like I can heal him and use him as a better tank as time goes on.
Lead the way.
Unless we find more health
That
pots.
day is ours.
So these guys have little skulls. Does that mean... I guess that means he has +1 veterancy, so that we get little shields, and then they get
my way.
little skulls to, like, designate that they are...
Lead the way. On my way.
I'm not 100%. I'm 100% sure.
Lead the way.
Again, I'll read this. Like, I saw the skull, and my first thought is, oh, they're an elite
sir.
level. But this isn't an MMO. I think the
I
skulls
await your
are
command.
supposed to be indicative of, like,
Lead the
that's
way.
their veterancy
Lead the
level.
way.
So one skull
my
just
way.
means it's a slightly more powerful
way.
enemy in that it's veterancy.
Yes, sir.
I think we got things under control now, boys.
Take them.
Oh, you
Your
jerks.
lives. Lead the way. On my way.
Okay. Form a line. Focus fire some of these ones on the front.
Lead the way. Lead the way. I await you. Yes, sir. Lead the way.
Seems like we can change who's being targeted
Lead the way.
pretty easily here.
I await you.
By just moving, assuming pathing doesn't mess with us, we can just right-click these units away so that the ones getting targeted, again, are the ones that, okay, that's the level 4. Yeah, he's got a lot more survivability. There we go. We killed the Beast Raider, so there are no more attacks.
Yes, sir. I await your command.
So these, like, basic level
way.
beasts seems much
On my
stronger than me. Oh, I actually need to, like, do the objective here. So let's buy the pack mule. As far as I can tell, I mean, if these all have like 2,000 to 3,000 gold on them, we probably could afford to have 3 to 4 villagers per. I don't know what's normal. Maybe it's more than that. I don't want to go overboard because
way.
eventually, I think
On my way.
if you spend too much on villagers, then the amount you spend on villagers per gold
my
patch
Lead the way.
in the long term
my
is
way.
is just much less useful
Lead the
or
way.
efficient. If it's not efficient spending, I suppose. All right, mule.
I await your
Now again, the other thing is like, are there other like map secrets? So there were gold pickups,
on my way.
right? So that's
Lead the way.
interesting. There are gold
my
pickups and there were health potion pickups, and they just got plopped up there. So I wonder if there are other types of consumables or if it's mostly
the
just
way.
health,
On my
like
way.
just a global healing, which
Lead
is
the
kind of
way.
cool.
On my way.
I hope. Well,
Lead the
this is
way.
going to be a lesson. Can we rebuild? We can build another pack mule if we wanted. I was going to say
Ready.
maybe we're going to want to use this as a test. Like, if we move the objective through here, is that going to cause the enemy to like spawn something?
On my
Right. There's a lot to
way.
learn anytime you start a new game. Real-time strategy is
Lead
like
the way. On my way.
spawn bullshit, which we saw there is stuff that spawns from like random spots, but we were actually able to find a
await your
trigger to
command.
stop it if we killed the
On my
the
way.
leader guy here.
Lead the way.
The next.
Attack.
Yep.
Lead the way.
That's about what I expected.
Yes, sir. Ready. Yes, sir. On my way.
So my guys are 230 health. Theirs are 360. 0 base armor. I get the base 1 armor plus 2 from the base spells. I guess we're going to want to stay together here with the
On my way.
with the pack horse. And it's not like Age of Empires. Like, there are formations, but your units don't go slower to accommodate for the slowest unit in the group. So that's a positive as well. Maybe I could have built like 3 pack mules, and then we would have been able to carry forward more gold into the next mission or something. Again, this is all stuff to learn, but I doubt that's the case. That would be like a little bonus.
We're clear of their line. We must make haste to Margoth.
It's just that easy. I guess quit campaign? Okay, so I guess onto the road to Margoth next. I assume the interludes, like, it'll leave a blank spot here and not just put the next interlude right underneath this to make it clear, like, where the interlude should be viewed. I don't know. But this seems cool so far. Again, it feels right to me because I've played, Warcraft 3, which I think is probably the closest allegory to this game as far as I can tell. So I'm interested to continue this. Apparently it gets pretty difficult. Again, I'm only playing on normal, so I think we're going to get through it just fine. But apparently some of these missions can end up taking a really long time, and I was also warned that these maps do have some bullshit triggering. Like, if you progress a map too far, if you scout too aggressively, you might trigger something in the map that will make it extremely difficult. So I think, to me, that means we basically are going to play very safe, but I guess we want to experiment a little bit to kind of see the real outcomes of if we do get a little aggressive with scouting, like you cross a certain threshold and hit a location trigger and suddenly the enemy's attacking you with twice as much stuff. That kind of stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested to see what you have to say about this map, in this game, rather, if you've played it in the past. Or if you're like me and you've not played it before, I hope you're interested. And I'll see you next time. And again, we will be returning to Age of Empires 2 eventually. Again, I'm just diversifying a bit. We played Age of Kings. I figured we're going to come and play this game, and then we're going to head back and play Age of Conquerors, which is, I think, 3 or 4 campaigns for Age of Empires DE, and then we're going to head out and play a different real-time strategy game, and then we'll go back and play another set of AoE 2 DE campaigns. That's my plan for the future for this Thursday, Saturday time slot. I hope that's something that interests you. I've talked about playing different real-time strategies for a while now, so I'm looking forward to it. Again, kind of opening my arms a little bit to new RTSs that I never had the chance to play when I was younger. All right, see ya.